Second story of the day, I want to talk about France, Belgium, and Netherlands. I've covered it multiple times. In France, they're having a huge protest slash riot slash revolution because Macron, their leader, it's so funny. I'm going to maybe post later. You had Rihanna kind of promoting him. You had Obama make videos for him. You had Joy Reid from MSNBC saying Macron is such a great leader. I wish I had him here. But they forgot to tell you one thing, that they were lying about it, and nobody in France actually likes him. I believe his approval rating 17 or 18. He's been very, very unpopular. The left wing doesn't like him. The right wing doesn't like him. France is getting taxed into oblivion. They have one of the highest, if not the highest, taxes in the world. I saw a new study. They're adding a carbon tax. They're getting taxed on the tax of the tax. They pay into a system that continuously increases because they also had the genius idea of taking in hundreds of thousands of refugees and people from the Middle East and Africa who don't pay into the system. And while it's very nice in theory, basic math and you could even say science maybe shows that if you have people paying 40-45% taxes, you add more taxes and then you bring in hundreds of thousands of people to live in your country that don't pay into it. The working class people get screwed. The lower class people get screwed. Everybody gets screwed. And France is not buying it, from progressive left to the right wing right. So they've had protests and riots. They've gotten crazy. 1,700 people arrest, 1,700 people. 2 people have died so far. They're doing it every Saturday and Sunday. It seems like it's getting bigger and bigger. Tonight, Macron is going to finally address it. This is before I get into Belgium and Netherlands, who have now adopted this yellow vest protest. I want to say one of the good things about Trump is that he's so, to me, and whether you love him or hate him, he seems like someone who's a leader as far as he's always commenting on things. He's right there, whether it's a flood or a storm or something good or bad. He's in the mix and he's always on it. I don't remember Obama, Clinton, George Bush. No one seemed like they really care. And I think this goes hand in hand with our culture of, entertainment, smoke and mirrors. Politics has been smoke and mirrors. It's been, speechwriters and, this and that, and stand here and say this and do the opposite. So the world is kind of revolting around social media because people are tired of that. And Trump is really good at that. He's on the ball. But Macron, it's crazy to think that there's been 3 weeks of protests and now he's having an official statement for what the news is saying. I thought he said something, but the news is claiming that it's the first, he's finally breaking his silence. Trump would tweet about it immediately. When the Women's March happened or something, you're going to sit for 3 weeks and just watch your city get burned and not say anything? This is the left or right. This is the unpopular political class not being able to fathom that the smoke and mirrors entertainment industry, hiding behind celebrities, it's not working anymore. People need something. They need a little oomph to it, whether you're left or right. It's not working. But what's interesting is it's spreading throughout Europe. Belgium and Netherlands have yellow vest protests now. I wrote down a little info on it. Let's see. I guess the Belgian people are calling for the resignation of Minister Charles Michel. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry, my Belgian brothers and sisters. But Netherlands is not happy. It seems like a thing that's it's catching on here in the U.S., although a lot of people like the president, a lot of people don't. It's not going to work really here. People are tired of a lot of things. It's hard to really put a finger on it. I watched a good video because it is high taxes when you get a lot of your money stolen by the federal government and you have no money. It's poverty. It's a combination of political correctness. People are tired of not being able to speak their mind against the refugee migrant crisis. It's a lot of things wrapped up at once. So one of the guys said that the left and right are uniting in France against the banks. And that's very interesting because I do want to remind people here, and I think this is something in America that we understand, but we can't get along. The left viciously doesn't like what I say sometimes, and the right viciously doesn't like what the left says, but a lot of people know that we're getting screwed. We just can't figure out where it's coming from. And in the United States, the banks do a lot too. I always say, the reason I'm more libertarian right-wing now is because I started learning about healthcare and taxes and political correctness and lies and words and actions and really seeing what they're doing. And I've come to the conclusion, and I would think everybody would, but clearly not, we're getting robbed. The people in France know that because their taxes are so high, it's past the point of them figuring it out. They know because they can't afford Christmas presents and they're getting screwed royally. it's not that bad here, but it's getting there. And to me, we're getting robbed. Like, to me, theft is when you own a house. I'm getting libertarian. Taxation is theft. Yeah, we got to build roads and schools, but your tax money went to bailing out the banks, bailing out the automotive industry. You know, they had the whole little protest that they were trying to do, but it's like, why can a billion-dollar company screw up and I have to pay for it? If they make money, they make money. If they lose money, I pay them. Elon Musk is getting subsidized. I love Elon Musk, but why am I paying for Elon Musk? Why am I paying for General Motors? Why am I paying the banks when they mess up? Why am I paying Wells Fargo? I don't understand. To me, I'm getting robbed. If I own a property, I don't actually own the property. You own a house? Not really. You pay taxes on it. You know, if you pay property taxes, you don't really own the house. Yeah, you own it and you could sell it and make money off it, but someone else owns it because you're paying them for the land. Why are we paying the banks for everything? Why is everything I do getting taxed? In California, it costs $850 to $1,000 to start a small business. Do I own my business if I have to pay for it every year? I pay for plastic bags. I pay for gas tax. I pay for this tax and that tax. So it's like, we're getting taxed too much, I think, even in the United States. In the 1700s, they rebelled against, what was it, a tea tax? Now there's sugar tax, this tax, that tax, video game tax they're trying to add. Like, I'm trying to go backwards. I'm getting robbed, and I want to stop getting robbed. That's how the people in France feel. But they realize it on the progressive left in France because it's easy to say you want more taxes when the economy's booming and your life is good and you're crying from your smartphone and you make $100,000 a year and you live in San Francisco and ignore all the crap on the ground and you think you're so great going to, you know, the nightclub at night. It's like, it's easy to think that higher taxes is the solution. But in France, they don't really have that luxury anymore because they don't have any money left. Because that's what happens when you give your money to the federal government. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the left wing in America. I understand a little bit. Like, I understand the thought of it and the anti-war thing and the helping poor people thing. Yeah, for sure. But I don't understand how you don't understand that you're getting robbed by the banks and the federal government and you want to rob other people. You want to say, Anomaly, you're such a bad person. You're racist, sexist, and xenophobic. Now give me your taxes because anything other than what I say is racist. It's like, how are you not racist by stealing my money, stealing my freedom, stealing my ability to buy or not buy healthcare, and handing my money directly to the federal government? Like, you're a useful thief. I call these people useful idiots, useful fools, and a useful thief. You're a thief for the federal government. You're literally a useful wind-up doll. Bernie Sanders environment. Okay, what's the solution? Are you going to invent something? Are you Thomas Edison or Nikola Tesla? Oh no, we're going to just take your money and give it to the feds. It's like, how in the world is that going to solve the problem? It's going to make me poorer. That's what they do in California. If you own a small business or you're a working class family of any race, religion, and gender, the people they claim to care so much about, you get robbed. Liberals rob you, progressives rob you, and they take your money and give it to piece of trash people. I'm not saying all people who need government subsidies are pieces of trash. It's not what I'm saying. But there are millions of people who are pieces of trash, who literally trash everything. You offer them food and, I mean, literally you offer, my friend said he offered a homeless person food on Thanksgiving and they screamed and cursed at him. Literally, people are pushing people in front of trains and like these people are not looking for shelter or food. There's a lot of piece of trash people and they're allowed, they get subsidized for being pieces of trash. So Anomaly, if you break your back working, 100-hour weeks for 7 years of your life, which I did, we're going to steal your money and we're going to give it to people who go into businesses and spit all over the place and do heroin on the street and literally reject food and attack people and kill people. It's like, it doesn't make sense. They rob you. So that's what's happening in France and Belgium and all these European countries. First of all, a lot of them don't have the freedom of speech. We can say what we think here. Trump, you can hate on Trump and it's mainstream news because it's America. If you hated on the Royal Prince of Saudi Arabia, good luck keeping your limbs. But here, you can do it because they don't have that in a lot of places in Europe. So not only can they not speak out against it, they're getting robbed by the banks and the federal government. And I think both sides of the debate understand that there. And I think that both sides of the debate understand that here. But the libertarian and conservative says, especially the New Age ones, because George Bush era, I'm not a big fan of, and past then, but nowadays, conservatives and libertarians and Trump supporters, very diverse, very woke, very socially aware, very environmentally aware. Like some of the smartest people I know who know about the environment are right wing or at least like not left wing, because our idea is like, okay, this is corrupt, the banks are corrupt, the politicians are corrupt, the wars are corrupt. Let's rein that in, but let's keep our money, let's keep our property, let's keep our freedom, let's keep our rights. And the left wing says all this is corrupt, so let's rob people blind and hand the money to the federal government and claim that everything else is racist, sexist, and xenophobic. Someone said Europe is falling. Here's the thing. I've said for a long time, you could call me whatever you want. No one really bothers me, honestly, because it's pretty hard to frame me in a negative light. But the truth is the truth. No matter how much Washington Post lies and New York Times lies and CNN lies and Vox lies and sometimes Fox lies and this lies and that lies, it's going to happen. If you raise the taxes on people, if you take away their freedom of speech, if you disarm the people of knives and guns, and then you import a culture that throws gays off of roofs, that beats women, that doesn't allow religious freedom and all these things that we care about in liberal America and Europe, it's only a matter of time. Like, is Europe going to fall to Islam? Is Europe going to fall to the white European liberal dictators? Is Europe going to fall to the, like, you know, to high taxes and no free, like, I don't know. It's going to fall to one of those three things. Pick your poison, but it's not going to succeed long term because it's a failing strategy. And that's my big beef with liberals in America. Are some conservatives bad? Yeah, sure. Is Republicans, are they perfect? No, I don't even really watch Fox News. I don't own a TV. But is liberalism a total fail? Absolutely. Like, I can't think of a more failed ideology. Like, if I was to tell a kid how to be successful, how to start a business or become something from nothing, I would literally tell him the opposite of what liberals tell themselves, and he would probably be a multimillionaire. Like, I can't think of a more failed strategy. And instead of like debating their theories against mine and their ideology versus mine, they want to censor and silence everybody who disagrees with them, because then they think they'll win. But overall, I could talk about this all day. I want to get on to the next story. This is France, Belgium, and Netherlands. People are tired of political correctness. People are tired of getting robbed by the banks. People are tired of getting robbed by the politicians. People are tired of getting lied to. People are tired of hundreds of thousands of migrants from countries that literally want to destroy Western civilization, and they even post about it on Instagram. I want to say, too, someone made a good point. It was actually the Imam of Peace. He's a Muslim imam from Australia. He said in Christian and Jewish nations, or whatever you want to call Europe or Israel and to the United States, you're allowed to be a Muslim, like, senator or something. We have Muslim senators here. You know, whatever the guy's name in London's ruining everything. You can do that in a Christian or semi-Christian nation. You can't be a Christian. Like, try to be a Christian leader in Pakistan or Saudi Arabia. They don't allow it. Like, it's literally not allowed. So in our countries, you could do whatever you want. In their countries, they'll kill you for literally being Christian, or they're literally, if you speak out against their religion, it's a blasphemy law in Pakistan. And now I explained, check out my video on YouTube about the Imam of Peace in Pakistan. Twitter is now pressuring American citizens and Australian citizens on behalf of Pakistani's government. You literally have Twitter posting Pakistani blasphemy laws like there's some sort of Islamic dictatorship trying to take over the world, telling you can't say that. Pakistani government doesn't agree. I don't care what the Pakistani government thinks, because I live in America. I don't live in a country that has blasphemy laws and anti-freedom of speech. Like, that's why I have an American flag on my wall, like, because I appreciate that about this country. So that's what they're doing. And it's basically math with Europe. And I don't know how much of the protest is about this, but do the math. Okay, you could come to Europe and America. You can be Muslim. You could be a leader. You can do whatever you want. In Islamic countries, they don't do that. They will kill you or arrest you for feeling a certain way. Check out the population rates and the birth rates. I mean, Islam is on pace to be the #1 religion in the world. So they're taking over Europe. They're going to take over, like, do the math. You have Europeans and other cultures declining, and you have Islamic people inclining. Anywhere they go, they don't allow free speech. They're ruining Europe. I'm sorry. Paris is getting ruined. UK is getting ruined. Many parts of Sweden are ruined. And, leaders like Italian leader and Poland and stuff, they're fighting back against it because it's basic math and science that no one wants to talk about. I mean, you let one culture overpopulate that doesn't like gays, that doesn't give women liberal freedoms, it's not going to end in utopia. And for some reason, liberal sites like Twitter, I don't know if they're sold out completely or they're just naive and foolish, they're aligning with the most, what you could consider right-wing conservative ideology on the planet that is way more conservative than American conservatives that don't treat people right. So it's like it's literal backwards land, and they're promoting it on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Google, everywhere that information can be found, and they're censoring and silencing other people. But that's what's going on in France, Belgium, Netherlands. The Yellow Vests, they are protesting. They are spreading throughout Europe, and this is not slowing down at any time because the people there are awakened for multiple reasons. It's hard not to be awake when half of your taxes get handed over to the federal government. You get nothing in return, and you can't even afford food or Christmas presents. So God bless the people of France. Good luck. Don't be violent. Stop burning stuff down. Best of luck to you. The third story